There is a habit, a quiet, almost invisible habit, that separates the people who build real wealth from the people who spend their entire lives working hard and ending up exactly where they started. It is not investing. Everyone talks about investing. It is not starting a business. Everyone talks about that too. It is not cutting your morning coffee or following a 5 a.m. routine or reading 50 books a year. It is something simpler. Something so obvious that once you hear it, you will wonder why nobody ever told you. And then you will realize they did not tell you on purpose. Because the people who know this habit understand one thing deeply. When fewer people practice it, it becomes more powerful for those who do. Stay with me for the next 18 minutes. Because what you are about to hear will not just change how you think about money. It will change how you think about yourself. My name is not important. What is important is that you found this video today. Because most people will go their entire lives chasing money without ever understanding the one thing that actually creates it. We are going to talk about 3 habits today. Not tips, not tricks. 3 deep, psychological habits that wealthy people practice almost silently. Habits that do not look like wealth habits from the outside. Habits that your parents probably never taught you. Habits that school definitely never mentioned. By the end of this video, you will have a clear picture of exactly what separates the thinking of someone building real wealth from the thinking of someone stuck in the same financial position year after year. Let us begin. Way 1. They buy time, not things. Picture 2 men. Both earn $80,000 a year. Both live in the same city. Both consider themselves successful. The first man, let us call him Marcus, drives a nice car. He wears a good watch. His apartment is modern and well-furnished. He works 55 hours a week. When he gets home, he is exhausted. He scrolls through his phone, orders food, watches something on Netflix, and goes to sleep. He tells himself he will start investing next year. He has been saying that for 4 years. The second man, let us call him James, drives a car that is 7 years old. His apartment is comfortable but simple. He works the same 55 hours a week. But when James gets home, something different happens. He has already paid someone to clean his apartment. He has already paid a service to deliver his groceries, prepped and ready. He does not cook from scratch on weeknights. He does not spend his evenings running errands. Every hour he used to lose to maintenance tasks has been bought back. And with those hours, James reads. James thinks. James works on a small side project that has been slowly growing for 2 years. On paper, Marcus looks wealthier. In reality, James is building something Marcus cannot see yet. This is the first habit rich people never talk about. They buy time before they buy status. Think about what this means practically. The average person, when they get a raise, upgrades their lifestyle. They get a nicer car, a bigger apartment, better clothes. They spend their new money on things that make them look more successful. And there is nothing wrong with enjoying the fruits of your work. But wealthy people, when they get more money, their first question is different. Their question is not what can I buy? Their question is what can I stop doing myself? There is a study from Harvard that found people who spend money on time-saving services report significantly higher levels of life satisfaction than people who spend the same amount on material goods. Not slightly higher, significantly higher. And yet almost nobody does it. Because buying a cleaning service does not feel like a flex. You cannot post it on Instagram. Nobody at the office asks where you got your cleaning service. But here is what happens underneath the surface. When you buy back time, you are not just getting hours. You are getting mental space. You are getting energy. You are getting the one resource that money cannot create from nothing. Warren Buffett once said that the difference between successful people and really successful people is that really successful people say no to almost everything. What he was describing was this exact principle. Protect your time more fiercely than your money. Because time, once spent, is gone forever. Money can be rebuilt. Ours cannot. The middle class thinks about money as something to spend on a better life right now. The wealthy think about money as something to convert into time, and then convert that time into more money. It is a completely different operating system. So here is your first shift. Next time you get extra money, before you spend it on anything, ask yourself one question. What is taking my time that I could pay someone else to do? Start small. Even 1 hour bought back per week is 1 hour you did not have before. 1 hour to think, to plan, to build something. They invest in rooms, not returns. In 2003, a 24-year-old named Sarah Blakely had $5,000 in savings. She had an idea for a product, but no connections, no investors, no business experience. She was selling fax machines door to door during the day and working on her idea at night. What she did with that $5,000 was not what most people would do. She did not put it in stocks. She did not save it for a safety net. She spent a significant portion of it getting herself into rooms, meeting people, finding a lawyer who believed in her enough to work with her, getting her product in front of one buyer at Neiman Marcus. Just one room, just one conversation. That conversation changed everything. Sarah Blakely became the founder of Spanx and eventually the youngest self-made female billionaire in American history. Now most people hear that story and think about the idea. They think the idea is what made her rich. But look closer. The idea only became valuable when she got herself in front of the right person. The idea needed a room. This is the second habit. Wealthy people invest aggressively in access. And when I say access, I do not just mean networking events where people hand each other business cards and talk about nothing. I mean something more intentional. I mean consistently and deliberately placing yourself in environments where the standard of thinking is higher than your own. Here is how this works psychologically. Every environment has an invisible ceiling. When you spend all your time around people who think a salary of $60,000 is success, that becomes your ceiling too. Not because you are weak, but because humans are deeply wired to calibrate to their environment. We absorb the standards of the rooms we spend the most time in. Wealthy people understand this, so they are almost obsessive about the rooms they enter. They attend the conference that feels slightly out of their league. They find a way to sit at the table with people who are 3 steps ahead. They buy the book written by the person they want to think like. They find mentors not just for advice, but for exposure to a different level of thinking. There is a concept in psychology called social proof. We look at the people around us to decide what is normal, what is possible, what is acceptable. If everyone around you is struggling financially, your brain starts to normalize struggle. Not consciously, but silently, underneath everything. It starts to feel like this is just how life is. But when you walk into a room where people casually talk about their 4th rental property, or the business they just sold, or the investment they are evaluating, something shifts in your brain. Not instantly, but gradually. The ceiling rises. What felt impossible starts to feel like a next step. This is why wealthy people spend money on masterminds, on events, on first-class flights that put them next to a certain type of person, on memberships to clubs and organizations that the average person dismisses as a waste of money. They are not buying a seat. They are buying a new ceiling. So here is your second shift. Look at the 5 environments you spend the most time in. Your workplace, your social circle, the content you consume, the conversations you have. Ask yourself honestly, is the standard of thinking in these environments higher than mine, lower than mine, or exactly the same? Because if it is the same or lower, you are not growing. You are just rotating inside a ceiling you cannot see. Find one room this month that feels slightly out of your league. It could be a free online community. It could be a free online community. It could be a local event. It could simply be changing what you read and listen to. Start somewhere. The room matters more than you think. Way 3. They make money while they sleep. In 1994, a man named Jeff left a very comfortable, very well-paying job on Wall Street. His boss tried to talk him out of it. His colleagues thought he was making a mistake. By every traditional measure, leaving that job was financially irresponsible. He left because he wanted to build something that would work while he slept. You know how that story ended. Now most people hear the name Jeff Bezos and think that story has nothing to do with them. They think passive income is a dream for other people. People with more money, more talent, more connections, more luck. But here is what wealthy people actually understand about passive income that most people completely miss. It is not about the amount. It is about the proof of concept. The first dollar you earn while you are sleeping changes something in your brain that no book, no video, no motivational speech can change. Because for your entire life, you have been told, consciously or not, that money requires your time. You trade hours for dollars. That is the deal. That is how it works. And then one morning you wake up and there is $3 in your account from something you created last week. And intellectually, you know $3 is nothing. But emotionally, psychologically, something fundamental shifts. Because your brain now has proof. Proof that the equation is not fixed. Proof that money does not always require your time. Proof that the rules you were handed are not the only rules. That $3 is not $3. That $3 is a completely new belief system. Wealthy people obsess over this, not because they need the money from passive income in the beginning, but because they understand that building any stream of income that does not require your direct time is practicing the most important financial muscle you can develop. The muscle of making your assets work instead of only yourself working. This does not have to be complicated. It does not require thousands of dollars up front. It could be a simple digital product, a guide, a template, a resource that solves one specific problem for one specific person. It could be a YouTube channel, exactly like this one, where the videos keep getting watched long after they were created. It could be a small royalty, a referral, a system you build once that generates something ongoing. The size does not matter at first. The habit matters. The habit of asking not just how do I earn more, but how do I earn differently? How do I build something that earns even when I'm not actively working? Most people never ask that question, not because they are not smart enough, but because they were never shown that the question exists. They were shown a world where you work, you get paid, you spend, you work again. And that cycle feels so normal, so universal, so obviously just how things are, that questioning it feels almost rebellious. Question it anyway. So let us bring this together. 3 habits. 3 quiet, almost invisible shifts that wealthy people make that most people never see. The first, they buy time before they buy status. They understand that the greatest luxury is not a car or a watch or a bigger apartment. The greatest luxury is a free hour with a clear mind. The second, they invest in rooms. They place themselves deliberately and consistently in environments where the standard of thinking is higher than their own. They let the ceiling of their environment become the floor of their ambition. The third, they build things that earn while they sleep. Not because they are greedy, but because they understand that trading only time for money is a game with a hard limit. And they refuse to play a limited game. None of these habits require you to be rich to start. None of them require special connections, or a trust fund, or a perfect moment. They require something much simpler and much harder. They require you to decide, quietly and firmly, that the way you have been thinking about money is not the only way. Before we finish, I have a small gift for you. If you help choose the topic of the next video, I'll give 3 of you the Redicast Creator Plan free for 30 days. Just comment the number of the topic you want next. 1. The one belief keeping you middle class. 2. Why most people are afraid of getting rich. 3. How rich people use debt to build wealth. The Creator Plan lets you generate unlimited voiceovers, create unlimited videos for your faceless channel, and even talk with an AI assistant to help with your scripts. I'll randomly pick 3 people from the comments. There is a question I want to leave you with, and I want you to sit with it for a while. Not answer it immediately, just let it stay with you. If your financial life looked exactly like this in 5 years, the same income, the same habits, the same patterns, the same thinking, would that be okay with you? If the answer is no, then you already know what needs to change. The only question left is when you are going to